So, what can stories in SAP Analytics Cloud do for you? Let's look at an example to illustrate. Suppose you work for, let's say, the Office of the Financial Controller. Your manager asks you to pull together some insights into the organization's performance, so you start by creating a new story. In SAP Analytics Cloud, a story is a container object that lets you explore your data and organize your charts, maps, tables, and other objects to tell a story about your insights. So, what next? You consider jumping straight into exploring some data, or leveraging machine learning to find patterns in it, or creating a page so you can get right to visualizing some insights about it. But maybe you're not sure where to begin, so you launch Search to Insight. Search to Insight is a smart feature that uses natural language questions to dynamically build visualizations that you can add to your stories. You ask the system to show you sales revenue, which brings up some models to choose from. A model is a representation of data in the system, transformed and organized to meet the needs of multiple users. It includes elements such as measures, which contain quantitative information that can be used for calculations, dimensions, which are qualitative and help to provide context, and versions, which capture different categories of values, such as actual, budget, or forecast, used for planning purposes. You recognize one of the models, so you select that and then restrict the results to 2019. And just like that, you have your first visualization, which you copy to a new responsive page. A responsive page has lanes that automatically resize to fit different screens, so your story works with mobile devices, while a grid page gives you a spreadsheet format for working with tables, and a canvas page is a blank slate that provides maximum flexibility and control for building content. Just because it's this easy, you add variance to the chart to show the difference between actual and budget values. Variance lets you compare values between different measures, versions, or time periods. Okay, so your story now contains a page, your first chart, and some data. That was easy, right? Next, you switch to the Explorer to find out what else is in that dataset. Data Exploration Mode, or the Explorer, provides a faceted view of your data so you can dynamically generate visualizations. Here, you can see all the measures from the model, along with the dimension used in your last query, so you create another chart to show gross margin for Q1 of 2019, and add that to the page as well. And now that you're getting into the zone, you crank out a few more numeric point charts to highlight a bunch of key performance indicators, arrange everything so it's easy to see at a glance, and pop in the logo to make it look super professional. Okay, now you're getting somewhere. Next, you use the Designer panel to build a more complex chart that shows sales revenue over time. With color coding for each version of the data. You want to see the results by quarter for 2018 and 2019, so you apply a filter. Once you see the finished chart, you realize that this type of chart would be really useful to show several KPIs. So you remove the existing measure and replace it with a measure input control. Basic input controls let you and your colleagues choose which dimension members display across multiple visualizations, while measure and dimension input controls enable you to choose which measures or dimensions display in a single chart. Here, you want users to be able to choose sales revenue, operating expenses, gross margin, or operating income. You add other charts too from a variety of models, and some other objects that provide more context, so you have a complete overview of the organization's performance, and then rename your page accordingly. So you might be thinking, is that it? Not even close. Now you want to dig down into a geographical analysis of the data, so you add a new page to help tell everyone that you've moved on to the next part of the story. Here you add a geomap that shows whether specific countries are on plan in terms of sales revenue. You also add some input controls, so you and your colleagues can focus on specific time periods, regions, and product types, and a chart that shows the same information in a different way. Some people might stop there, but you're still not done. You set up linked analysis so that making a selection on the map updates the chart accordingly. And finally, let's not forget that your office is all about financial planning. So you add another page to move the story on to the next topic. Here, you add a value driver tree so you can explore what-if scenarios, like how an increase in the sales promotions would impact total operating expenses. You also add a table where users can adjust planned values. And just to put a cherry on the top, you throw in a few more charts for more context before firing it off to your manager for approval. And there you have it, a multi-page story that provides all the information needed to make great decisions, and you barely broke a sweat.
Ready to try it for yourself? Start your free trial of SAP Analytics Cloud today.